Yeah, that felt kind of nice.
Acclaimed for his role in Boys in the Hood, Larry Fishburne is Officer Russell Stevens.
I knew you'd come.
There's a thin line between catching a criminal and becoming one. Deep Cover. Directed by Bill Duke.
Welcome to 90 Minutes on Film, the place where three distinct individuals give three distinct perspectives on movies that we love and sometimes hate. My name is Wackoe. I'm here with the one and only C.E. Garcia and my guy over here, Gabriel, the Calilobo. What's going on, gentlemen? How are you guys today?
Good man. How you doing?
All right. I'm pretty excited with this. This has been in the making for quite some time. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. So basically, the idea about this is that we'll go ahead and tap into some films that, whether we enjoyed and hate, and kind of break it down, and, whether it really maybe changed our lives, didn't change our lives, it's just as fun. This is something that I think, like me and Chris, we've been talking about for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
And then a boy here, Lobo, he's a film critic in his own way.
Yeah, man, just a regular guy watching a ton of movies.
No, he is a film connoisseur.
Okay.
I mean, I can't tell you, doesn't matter what fucking weird, shitty movie I have watched, this guy has probably seen it also. And
Wow.
That's how we'll get into conversations
and
for
that's
hours.
And that's what's cool, though, is that I think you guys probably can, hold the more nerd cards more than me when it comes to film, despite that, I'm in the industry.
Fuck that. You're a fucking, you're a nerd in your own right when it comes to equipment.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm not a nerd, but I'm just saying when it comes to certain films and just, you guys can really, really nerd out on some stuff,
yeah.
man. And I envy that. It's cool to be a nerd now, guys, everyone. It's okay. We're out. We're ruling the world.
Yeah, it is crazy the amount of time, though, that it takes to actually watch all these movies. I mean, you can get consumed there pretty quickly.
That's why that's why I missed COVID, because all I did was sit right here and I watched movie after movie after
How
movie.
many movies do you think you watched during COVID?
Oh, shit. 120, 150.
Or how many of those were new ones?
Probably 5.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, so we're recording right now in my living room.
Yes.
Which
I got to say, it's awesome. I've always enjoyed coming here to visit Chris in the Boondocks.
Yeah.
And being able to see a setup, just to kind of throw it out there, there's a whole wall with just DVDs and this massive screen. What is it, 67?
This one's a 70-inch.
70. Oh, my bad.
If you look above that, there's a 120-inch screen.
And he has, with a projector. Is that a laser or?
That is just a straight up regular 1080p
Right.
projector.
And then there's some photos of just some BTS pictures from certain types of films.
Yeah, most people would put their family photos above the fireplace.
Hey, that is your family.
And you know what's funny, though, that when you're mentioning the family, I'm very proud of you how you raised your young women to be who they are now, because you could actually sit and conversate with them about film.
Oh,
and music. They're educated well. Good job. Good job.
I appreciate that. And that's one of the funniest things that we love to do. And my wife hates it, that we'll watch a movie and we call it hate watch. So we will hate watch. We hate watch recently over the Christmas break every Michael Bay Transformers movie. And it got harder and harder to watch, but we watched all 5 of them.
Wow.
And, my wife complained the entire time. She's like, I don't know why you guys are wasting so much time watching these bad movies. Because it's just fun.
Well, you're not wasting your time, but then I bet you she's probably wasting her time watching bad sitcom reality films.
Anything with
and
J-Lo
shows.
in it.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh my God. I can't wait till we do Marry Me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's the one thing we, J-Lo's got some good stuff though. She did Out of Sight was good.
Out of Sight was good. Yeah.
What's the other one?
That was George Clooney though.
Yeah, but it's Steven Soderbergh directed, and it's based on an Elmore Leonard book. So one of my all-time favorite crime novelists. what's the other one that the Cell?
Cell was
The Cell
fantastic.
was great.
Yeah,
but
she did The Cell.
yeah, that was
and-
really
oh my god! And Oliver Stone, she was in U-Turn.
U-Turn. Yes,
But I think
yes.
okay, and everybody give a shout out to Selena. I'm not a big fan of the movie, but
I mean,
it's a classic.
it is. It is. I think that film, not to just trail off though, but I think that film was the one that really kind of put Selena on the map. Like, obviously, she was
Oh, yeah.
respected in the industry, but it was a
100%.
small market. But once the J-Lo came out in the butt, then it blew up Selena in a whole different way.
Oh,
But
yeah,
that's a
that-
whole different thing.
yeah, that-
You realize though, you're talking about Jennifer Lopez movies 20 years ago, not anything that's
Correct.
recent.
Dude. I
Well-
know. It's like anytime they announce, and that was what's the one that just came out with Josh Duhamel on Amazon?
Shotgun Wedding.
Shotgun Wedding.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't see the preview. I saw the thumbnail on the advertisement on Amazon, and it says it's Die Hard at a wedding. So that's a bold statement.
Oh man, but you know what though, we got to give credit to her because there's not many actresses that have been married in real life more than her.
And for somebody who's able to still be somebody who's actually able to stay relevant and man, not be that good at what she does. I mean, she's not
Yeah.
a tremendous singer.
No,
not
she's
an
not.
actress,
She's
but
she looks great for her age.
it's the branding.
Yeah, it's of course it is, but that's just this industry. No matter what you're involved with, it's just about the branding aspect, who you are, what you are, and it's just we're whoring ourselves out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some are just really good at being whores. Oh man,
But I still say, are you going to watch the next J-Lo movie? No, I'm not.
I haven't seen like any most recent. The last J-Lo movie was, maybe dang.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was what. Yeah, it's been
I
a
did
long
see
time.
one in the theater and I regretted every minute of it.
Wow.
But the things you do for love, right?
Well, and going back to your wife, I remember we went to go see The Godfather, the 50th over in the theater,
Mm-hmm.
and turned over.
We did.
Yeah,
It was
I remember
great.
that, yes.
yeah, and we turned over and she was asleep. So you have to give her some credit to just be
but-
able to, so it goes both ways. So
But
that's
I
good.
respect though because she's seen The Godfather more than I have, which is interesting.
Wow,
she actually-
I did not know that.
She grew up on that movie, and for me, it was just one of those things I had seen because my mother was like, "You have to watch The Godfather,"
Uh-huh.
and I didn't understand it, and probably thanks to COVID, I told her I was like, "Hey, have you ever seen The Godfather?" She's like, "Oh my God, I grew up on that. We watched it all the time,
See-
growing up," and I didn't think I was mature enough at a younger age to enjoy it. And then now, I mean, look at the mantle.
Right,
It's
right.
like-
But let me tap into something there because I kind of play both parts on this.
Okay.
Because I didn't quite understand it in depth as well.
Mhm.
Obviously, because when I had first seen it, being younger, I wasn't really kind of paying attention to the real story of the family and so forth.
Right, right.
I'm sure one day we're going to get involved with that.
Oh, yeah.
In depth with that. Sorry, but I watched it. The reason why I watched it and the reason why she watched it, and I'm going to ask her this too, is just for the fact that like the backgrounds and then just the people around us is the hood. And
Yeah.
that movie, like Scarface and many other movies, was an inspiration on gangsta, like,
Yeah,
living a
and-
life,
and I-
power.
And I think
Greed.
now, like I said, as
Yeah.
we're older and we're more mature,
We
it's
are.
like it's all about family.
It is.
And
that
then-
was the reality. But when we were watching, I'm pretty sure why she was watching all the time in her family was the reason was just like, oh,
Gangster.
It's just gangster.
And like I grew up on Goodfellas.
Yeah,
As
that's
my
another
kids got
one.
older, I started showing them Goodfellas, and it's now become a staple of our household. Like, so we watch it every year. Christmas time, we watch the Goodfellas. And then one time she was over COVID. She's like, "I'm gonna show you guys my Goodfellas," and it was American Me.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
And that is a fucking fabulous movie. It's great. But my kids were like, "That's really scary. It's really graphic." It is. And because Goodfellas, I think Goodfellas is not a cautionary tale.
No.
Goodfellas is like a slice of life, and it's kind of glamorizing mob life. And of course, at the end, there's a moral, like, okay, well, it is what it is, and I'm doing my time, and here it is. While American Me is graphic.
Yeah,
It is
nothing
very-
romantic about American Me.
nothing
No,
romanticized
not at
about
all.
it. And at the end, he kind of gets what
Yeah,
is
I mean,
coming to 'em.
and that's what happens though. The reality is when you play that game, when you walk that line, you know, like you're
Yeah, you play with fire.
you're gonna get burned. And
that's a very real movie. Like you could almost say that was filmed like a documentary because it's because Edward James almost directed that.
Yeah, he did.
yes, correct.
Yeah, so that's I mean,
People died
so
literally.
yeah, and
because of that film,
and
they were
that
killed.
movie,
Yeah.
it's it's very raw. It's filmed very raw.
Well, you got to watch the documentary that's after the movie
On
If
American Me.
On American Me,
I don't even
it's
own
great.
that. That's
it's
what's
great.
sad. Like
Mhm.
all
Yeah.
of this shit behind you guys, all of these movies, and I don't even own that movie.
Yeah, that documentary. Did they actually play that on TV?
Yeah, they did.
Right, I remember seeing that. That's when I first saw it was on TV, and like
well,
the first setup of that documentary is where Edward James almost, and I think he was shooting the scene where I forgot the kid's name, and he comes out La Primera lives, and he's hanging out the door, but it was like setting up, and he was just like rubbing his temples and stuff, and he's just like, I can't believe we're doing this. Like,
Really?
yeah. So he went through a lot just making that film and just the shit that happened and what they went through, and they had real gang members involved with it.
My mother was always like, "You have to watch this movie."
Yeah.
So like, most kids got out early to go to Disneyland, and like I got out early to go see Malcolm X. I got out early to go see JFK. I got out early to go see American Me, because she was like, "These are movies you have to watch because you need to be exposed to the culture."
You see, and I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier, that I think you especially were exposed in a different manner compared to how I was exposed into film, when I just kind of found it on my own. To where you were like breeded for that, you know what I mean? As you're doing with your daughters.
Yeah.
So for myself, that's why I'm saying that you guys are probably more of a nerd in film than what I am, because you just guys were brought up in a different manner.
We'll call it aficionados is what we are.
There you go.
Aficionados.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and cover deep cover. We're gonna cover deep cover. Ooh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Cue the music, right?
Cue the music. All right. So deep cover. Man. First off, let's go ahead and just do some little bit of, I would say, logistics. It opened. So this is interesting though, because on IMDb,
Right. Which is probably the worst.
probably so.
Description.
Yeah.
That as far as the synopsis is
Right. So,
is concerned.
well, it said that it opened in April 19th of 1992. Right. Other sites were also saying the 17th and the 18th. So let's just say within those 3 days, it just kind of like it came out into the theaters and stuff like that. Yeah. Estimated in making was $8 million, and it did worldwide 639.
Did you look up the budgetary?
Yeah, what was the budget on that?
Oh, the budget was $8 million.
Okay.
Okay.
So it pretty much doubled for
That's good.
what it was worldwide. Of course, the director, Bill Duke.
Yes.
Chris,
Yes, sir.
you know you done fucked up, right? Don't you? You know you done fucked up.
That's got to be like he's in Menace Society, right? So
Right.
so
Predator.
yeah,
Commando.
So he's in Commando.
Yeah, Commando.
He's in Action Jackson. His name pops up as like directed by Bill Duke. I'm like, what? The guy's a director also.
Bro, when I was researching, this is recent. Again, I think that it's Bill Duke, like just certain films that we've seen him. Like,
Oh yeah,
you
did
know.
you look up his?
And then when I was looking at it,
his
and
director filmography,
I was like, this guy goes back to television.
Dude,
This
yes.
guy is like over
Knots Landing,
67.
Dallas,
Bro, I did not
Crime
know
Story.
that.
He knew how to shoot fast.
Yes.
I watched an interview with him, and he said, when you're filming for TV, you got 7 days
Right.
to shoot like the one episode, and that's it.
Right. And it's funny to tap into that. I did a DP and helped produce that horror film with Mike and Pat.
Yeah.
And Mike had told me that once we finished shooting, we rented out a facility which was like this whole like spaceship,
I remember. Yeah.
right? But they took it apart. Like it's been used in a lot of movie, Aliens and stuff like that, right? But he told me when we're done, he was like, hey, he goes, Wackoe, good job. I was like, oh, cool. He says, no, like you'd be good for TV, because we literally shot like about maybe 20 minutes of the film, like literally in one day, in like 8 hours or something like that.
Yeah, you gotta be able to make it happen.
Oh, dude, we were moving so fast and everything. He says you would do good in TV because that's just how it works.
Yeah, but I think your whole career you've kind of worked towards that because you work quickly, low budget.
Especially I think for me myself was just like music videos was like my training camp, and then with music videos, boot camp, is because half the artists, they didn't know what the hell they wanted. So I had to pull it out my ass, and then we're like, all right, cool, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that. And then most of the locations were all guerrilla locations, so it's not like you just have to act fast and let's just do it now. And then their budgets weren't even that much. Like it was garbage.
How many scenes can you get done in a day like that?
I guess it depends.
It depends on you. Yeah, it depends on obviously the budget and just what exactly you're trying to kill. So it varies, and it depends on the person too. So yeah. Well, it was written two guys for story and screenplay. It was Michael Tolkien.
Yeah.
And then also screenplay Henry Bean. So
the one and only Lawrence Fishburne.
No. Larry
Fishburne, right. Well, and I think I want to say that this is was he credited as Larry or Lawrence in this movie?
This was the last time he was credited as Larry.
Okay.
After this,
as Lawrence.
After this, he became Lawrence. This was kind of like Larry's introduction to me, because of these films in early 90s. And then it's just, it seems that he just always just played in these certain roles. Like this was just, would you call it like typecast in a sense?
I mean, I don't know if you can really say like his career didn't take off or he was typecast. I mean, if you look around the time, he was in Boys in the Hood. He was the father.
Isn't this on the heels of Boys in the Hood?
This is on the heels of Boys in the Hood.
Correct.
And also, of course, Boys in the Hood is post... oh gosh, what was it? He's post King of New York, and he was in a Spike Lee movie. I got a couple synopses here about the film.
All right, now let me. These synopses are from different.
Different
platforms.
sources online. So I think the worst one that we're going to be able to find is going to be IMDb. It says a uniformed cop is recruited by a drug enforcement agent to infiltrate a drug smuggling ring, looking to expand its operation. That's IMDb. I found a good one from the Brooklyn Rail. It says Russell Stevens Jr. is a police officer assigned to operate undercover as a drug dealer in order to infiltrate a deeply organized drug ring. That one's not bad. And of course, my go-to for film is going to be Criterion Collection. It says Lawrence Fishburne stars as Russell Stevens, a police officer who goes undercover as John Hull, the partner of a dangerously ambitious cocaine trafficker, Jeff Goldblum, in order to infiltrate and bring down a powerful Latin American drug ring operating in Los Angeles. Gabe,
yeah,
I know you have your own synopsis.
No, it's just similar to what you had. It's cop trying to take down the West Coast drug ring in L.A.
Keeping in mind, like this movie, and just even a lot had to do with the era prior, before, like the late 80s and stuff, when crack just took over everything.
Oh, yeah.
And like these films that came after, like, really set the tone and really told the story that wasn't being really told before. And what were the
New Jack City?
No. This was like the next era of the black
blaxploitation.
Thank you.
Yes. I mean, as I got older, and because born in 78, we're children of the 80s, we didn't really watch blaxploitation films. As I got older and I discovered blaxploitation, I did go back and I thought, like, you know what, Deep Cover seems like it was a blaxploitation film.
It's one of my questions to you guys.
Sure.
Is it blaxploitation or is it black genre film?
So I think you could call it a black genre film, but because blaxploitation basically was categorized because not a lot of money, and they kind of focused on a certain type of story for a certain type of audience.
True. There was just a one target audience.
This film actually had enough money. What they didn't have was time. And I know we spoke briefly about that earlier, about the cinematography, like, what the hell? They could only afford like 2 lights or whatever. It's like,
Right.
no, they could actually afford more. They just didn't have the time.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we got some categories here.
Yes. So we're gonna go ahead and get into Act 1. We'll start off with this production value here, and I guess we can kind of like either go around and just kind of get everyone's perspective on it.
Yeah.
Just to kind of let everybody know, we got these categories here. Some might be different on every podcast. It's not always going to be the same one.
Yeah.
But it's just
some things aren't going to apply to everything.
Right. Exactly. But again, like, this is just something for us that we really enjoy doing and, can really dive into. So it's just like a small little guide for us.
Yes.
But first off and foremost, I guess I'll go ahead and, Chris, what stood out to you? What was the first thing that came to mind, like when you just thought of this movie?
Well, and I'm pretty sure we're all going to have the same answer. It's because Gabe's already smiling at me. First thing that I think about when I think of this movie is Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre.
It's on my notes right here, baby.
And I remember, and I probably the reason why I went to watch this movie, fucking watching Yo MTV Raps every Saturday morning, new music, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg.
Boom.
The birth of Death Row Records is at the end of this movie.
This to put in perspective for some people, maybe some of you are a little bit younger, and maybe just to remind everyone, like this was the first single for Dre as a solo artist.
Post NWA.
Yes, yeah. Post NWA, yeah. And this was the introduction to Snoop.
Oh yeah,
to us.
And I remember like hearing Snoop Dogg for the first time. I'm like, I mean,
that sound is wild, right? When it first comes out.
And it's like, I'm 12 years old, 11 years old.
Yeah.
It's like, who the fuck is this?
Right.
And it's like, it's a young voice. It's a young cat. And for me, it's like the production is on the track is just ridiculous,
And then the Chronic debuts, a month?
93, yeah. So this is 92. What he said, he came out in April?
No. Yeah. So, which is crazy. And, it changed, like I think
the game
in hip hop, like it completely changed the game in hip hop. The sound, the direction where we're gonna go when it came to quote unquote rap, hip hop, gangster. It was a whole new element.
Came out in December. Chronic.
See,
so this is like 6 months prior.
That's what I was saying. So, yeah, it came out a couple months after, and everyone, it opened a door to brand new people smoking weed.
Yeah, yeah, and
I think
it's the beginning of an era. Basically,
it was a beginning of an era, and I think for sure it was an end of an era too. Because I know Chronic had problems, especially that's the reason why he even I think jumped on this, because at that time, Cop Killer with Ice, and that really made it hard and difficult for a lot of hip hop or rappers at that time with their
rap. They started to shed that persona. Like I think at that point, the Predator came out from Cube, and it was a good day. Kind of went a little mainstream.
Yeah, it changed. It was the direction of hip hop now, especially in the West Coast, going quote unquote the mainstream.
Yeah, and it's like,
and then it just changed from that moment on. Like it was no longer to me. I think it was no longer a piece of us. It was something that we had because for me,
it became
to NWA.
Like not everybody knew about it.
Right. It was telling a story about people who can have, relate to it and have an understanding.
And I remember sitting in the audience and like, that song came on at the end. I remember watching it. I'm like, where is this track at? Like, it's not even anywhere. And of course,
it plays the entire credits.
The whole credits. And it's like they're at the cemetery, fade to black. I can feel it. And it's like, boom, bumping. It's like, and then I remember looking at everybody at the audience. I'm like, see, y'all don't know what this is. Like,
but it's set the new era. Like we still have not let that music go. Like I still listen to it daily.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
and this guy was singing it as he was here and we're setting up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, literally. But you know what? I think that's with any genre of music. When you think about it, like certain music in a certain era makes, that's why we have that term classic. So when you look at like rock, like, let's go back to like Zeppelin and stuff. Like,
so I do got a question for you though.
Huh?
So the song is classic. The era's classic. The music's classic. why don't more people know about this movie?
Mm.
Like I was talking to somebody last night and they're like, oh, you're filming we're recording an episode for this podcast. And like, oh, what movie is it? Deep Cover. Who's in that? Lawrence Fishburne. Who directed it? Bill Duke.
Yeah.
Why have I never heard of this movie?
I think, and mine's kind of at the back end of it because right around the same time, you had Boys in the Hood that came out in 92. You had Juice that came out as well.
Yeah.
And so it's just, there was two
New Jack
really
City.
good, New Jack City was out. So there was 2 to 3 really good movies, kind of around that same gangster drama, that genre. And, it just kind of faded away.
So do we all have the same, that's the first thing we think of when we think of this movie?
Literally, that was just, it was right there, right here, man. Just 187, baby.
So that's the first thing we kind of think of. And for me, I was always into, good actors. And that's another standout thing I always think about is the chemistry between Goldblum and Fish. Like they're just like, those two guys are like electric on the screen. And it's like that they didn't do another movie.
Jeff, like, I think
definitely a departure for him. Like I don't think he's ever played a villain.
No, he's never played a villain like that. And you know what's so crazy though? I saw 2 versions of him in this. The first half was just this rawness, this delivery that he had. Like it was just, and then the Jeff that we kind of know now came towards the second half of it. Like when he started cracking. Yes.
So like I think at the end of the movie he's like full Jeff Goldblum.
And it's like, oh, there's Jeff. Yeah. But in the beginning, it was just
reserved.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's the word. Thank you.
He's kind of like a Poindexter.
He is. I know we were tapping into the history of the music wise and Chronic, but do you guys have any kind of the history just on the film itself? Maybe
I do. I got something.
Well, carry on, sir.
So it's originally based on a book.
Yep.
It's a true story.
Correct.
It's basically about a cop who was assigned to take down street level dealers only, specifically, and mules. And when he started to question why he was only doing that and why they couldn't go after the higher ups, got fired. So that's what the book is based on.
87% on Rotten Tomatoes, man.
Wow.
I mean, you're looking back at it, cult classic coming out, bringing that fire.
Yeah. Do you give you put any stake in Rotten Tomatoes?
You know what?
Give or take?
I
50-50?
do. I think it's like a 50-50.
So Rotten Tomatoes has a 50%?
Yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
now that 80%, was that 80% audience? Or was that 80% critics?
I think it was reviewed critically.
Yeah, it was
really
reviewed
well.
critically. It came out at like 6.5, I think, on the critics review.
And they always say the big one to kind of refer to is Ebert, Roger Ebert. Got like a 3.5 or 4 stars out of 5.
4 stars, I
like
believe.
So he liked it.
And he's a pain in the ass to really,
Yeah. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
to Roger Ebert. It was originally intended to be a sequel to Internal Affairs from Andy Garcia and Richard Gere.
Really?
Yeah, so the lead in this film was supposed to be Andy Garcia.
Oh.
It was a Andy Garcia
that would have been a
vehicle.
that would have been a whole complete different film.
I don't know if you guys remember Internal Affairs.
Yeah.
So
that would have been a whole.
it was supposed to be Andy Garcia was the lead. And then the head of New Line at the time, it was still an independent studio. The Spike Lee was making a lot of success, so the head of New Line's like, let's make a black movie. Let's make the lead character black. Let's have like this.
New Line cinema at that time was just like breaking doors down. Like
but we got like Ninja Turtles, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street,
which was
time it comes up.
Yeah, that was like kind of like the. What was it? Was it Nightmare on Elm Street? Was kind of like the birth of New Line cinema, like really
Probably.
opening doors, or was it?
So I remember seeing that at the beginning of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but for me, the big one was Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
I watched that shit like 13 times in the theater.
Yeah.
I also read that this is pre The Mask with Jim Carrey. So once they blew up with The Mask, that's when they became a official film studio. This was at the time they were still like an independent film company.
Wow.
I don't know. Oh, the poetry. Anybody got anything about the poetry that goes throughout the film?
Like as far as even in the dialogue?
Yeah. So the all the poetry that's in the film, it is they're excerpts from Iceberg Slim's book.
Wow.
Oh, I did not know.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
There you go. So that's and for me, that's one of the things that stands out the most too. Like that's probably like the opening scene.
Yeah.
You know, he's reciting the poem as it's that probably the most expensive shot in the film, that one and only crane shot as it's showing the snowy city at the very, very beginning, because we're talking budget.
I think that opening scene was probably the most like dramatic and cinematic scene in the film.
And then let's get into this. This is the part I really wanted to talk to you about. The director of photography, Wackoe.
Well, okay. So we were having a conversation about this before. The director photographer, actually, his name is what is his name?
Bojan Bazelli?
Yes. Right? Is it Bojan?
It looks like Bojan. Bojan Bazelli.
Bojan Bazelli.
Okay,
right?
Close enough. We'll take it.
Close enough. It was interesting how he, kind of attacked this film. It was a very, I always say this word incorrect, but a noir.
A noir, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Approach to it, which I seen that a lot. But one thing that I did notice, and I think we were talking about this earlier and stuff, is that a lot of red and a lot of blue was incorporated into the film.
And I noticed that originally when I watched it. There's a lot of weird choices because like you were saying, like they only had 2 lights in the whole movie. Like,
are you sure it's not that tear between good and evil?
That's another
that's
thing.
That's the way I take it.
I wanted to go back in and take a look at it to see like where they put the lights, and then so he had mentioned to me like, oh, they only use like 2 lights. There's like only a few different lighting styles in the movie. So I was like, all right, you know what? Let me look up this guy and see what else he did.
A lot of red was used as the backlight.
Yeah.
So like to set up the scene, and a lot of the blue was either really set as part of like the key light,
right,
or used as kind of like an edge light. So, but even if there was no lighting setup, for instance, like when they were at the Eddie, who was buying, Eddie was slanging him
when he gets busted.
When he gets busted, if you notice that the place is red in the background.
Like the 1-8. It smells like the 1-8. Oh, it's the 1-8.
Man, that guy,
dude. But so just real quick though, so the DP has a lot of films under his belt. Like
he has
did King of New York.
Lot. Yes.
And like as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't give a shit what this guy did afterwards, because that's all he had to do. I mean, King of New York, deep cover. He did California with Brad Pitt. He did Surviving the Game, Ice-T. Michael Jackson, The Ring, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Hairspray. Did a lot of work with Disney. Lone Ranger he did.
You're going to give him a pass on that one?
Yeah, I think he gets a pass. I mean, he gets a pass for King of New York and deep cover. But I mean, so you say that it reminded you of a noir film?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could probably watch this in black and white, because most noir movies are black and white.
Ooh, you know what? That would be really cool to see that. Like someone just to convert it as a
black and white.
Yeah.
But you throw it on the projector and you can see the warmth of the film in this movie. So that's the only thing, like these old films gives you, like how you're saying noir.
Yeah.
It's got that vibe.
It's just like listening to a song on a vinyl.
Oh, yes.
That's the best way to explain. Yeah, it's just the best way to explain it.
We got a category here. Next up.
All right. So
best part of this movie. What's the best part of this movie for you, Gabe?
Actually, the part that I really liked was at Gopher's birthday. And when Barbosa is like talking shit
God,
to
to his face.
Goldblum, right to his face, like right in front of him.
Wait a second. I think we should lighten the party up. Yeah, it's getting too heavy. That's right. Come on, we're going to have a little game. We'll play a little game.
No, Felix.
So we're going to play a little game, that's it.
But I know what you do, Felix.
Come on, David, get up. Come on. All right. We'll play a little game. You want to play a game with me?
Don't. No, I don't want to play a little.
You don't want to play a game? It's a game that nice Jewish boys play at summer camp. You slap my hands, I slap yours, come on. Come on, what does it take to get you up? Stiff dick up the ass, you faggot? Come on, get up, come on. You got no balls or something? You afraid of me? Come on, you pussy. Oh, he's growing balls. Okay.
Who's first? I know this game.
Oh, you know the game? Okay, yeah, you go first.
Great.
Oh, you missed, David. Now it's my turn, okay?
Felix, you're wrong, man.
Okay, you stay out of this. First 1 to 4 wins, huh? Like the World Series? Okay? Come on, put him down there. That's it. Oh, you flinched, David. That's too bad, man. You know what that means? That means I get to hit you, right? That's right.
That to me was fucking awesome. That that guy had the balls to do that.
And everything that guy's been in, Barbosa is always a good guy.
Yeah.
He's never a bad guy. So I think that's why he fucking brought it. It's just like Denzel. He's always a good guy, but as soon as it's in fucking Training Day,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's like double barrel, you know?
Yeah.
Training Day though. That's Training. I would say that this Training Day was like a newer version of what like this one is.
Oh
like,
yeah, I mean,
you know,
it's definitely like it's a classic trope,
right?
You know, Donnie Brasco.
Yep.
Miami Vice. You know, you go on and on.
Well, but the reason why I would say Training Day though is just for the fact it was taking place in L.A.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So
So L.A. like how you were saying earlier, like it's a character.
Correct.
Yeah, it's definitely a character in this movie as well. The city.
I think that opening sequence.
That's your favorite part of the movie. Is that the best part of this movie?
It's not. Well, I want to say it's not the best part, but for me, it always just stood out just for the fact the interview.
Oh my god.
Tell me, do you know the difference between a black man and a nigger?
No.
Most niggers don't. Next, please. Morning, have a seat. So, tell me, Officer Winston, what's the difference between a black man and a nigger?
Who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
Right. Thanks for coming in. So, Officer Stevens, tell me, do you know the difference between a black man and a nigger?
The nigger's the one that would even answer that question.
And and I think that opening scene. So basically, it's Carver is the boss, and he's like, he asks every applicant for this undercover gig.
Yes.
Every applicant for this undercover gig, he's like, "What's the difference between a black man and a N-word?"
Yes.
Yes.
And of course, there's 3 different recruits, and you got 3 different responses. And of course, I guess the winning response is going to be our man Larry Fishburne, who's I don't know. I guess you could say he's the smartest one to react the way he is. I guess because he reacted in a thoughtful manner. I think that this is one of those things that I don't know if you could get away with it in today's film. I guess you could, depending on the movie that you're doing.
I think. Are we referring to just what he was asking?
I mean, yes,
because we know
it's a touchy.
It is now. Well, now because like everybody. I hate.
So okay. Let's say I'll say it this way: you probably could get away with doing that now, like in film.
I would think so.
I think it would depend on the subject matter.
I would say that line itself. You could probably get away with it now. Like it wouldn't like get to like backlash out of it. Like you know,
because I mean, you know, everybody complains like Tarantino gets away with it like all the time.
But you know, but he has. Yeah, that's.
I guess it
true.
just depends on the subject matter.
It depends on the subject, and I think it also depends on too, like really who's behind that line or who's receiving that line and how they react to that line.
You don't think the question is just trying to get a reaction and going with the person that doesn't give the reaction? That's a person that can keep their cool under pressure.
Yeah, I guess. You
Oh,
know, I guess
yeah,
you're right.
absolutely.
I mean, as a kid, I remember watching. I'm like, God damn, like what the fuck?
Right, just like wow.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, you know, it's a white guy in charge asking this question. But
Do you think the reaction would have been different if it were a black DEA?
you know, I do think that it would be different, and I would like to get into that later on because I have something to add to that. I mean, my favorite scene is all right. So for me, the favorite scene is the interrogation scene.
Time. I don't know the guy. I don't know nothing.
Bobby, give me a minute. Are you Christian?
No, are you a Christian? A Christian? Oh, shit. Yeah, man. In God we trust, right?
Well, I'm a Christian. When a Christian does something wrong, he or she has to make amends. At the arrest tonight, I was wrong in hitting you.
Yeah, you was wrong.
I apologize. Now, you have a right to file a complaint.
It's all right.
No, I'd file it if I were you.
No, it's all right.
You're a new face around here. I haven't seen you on the street before. Where are you from?
From Oakland.
Nah, you're not from Oakland. I know Oakland. Nah. You're from back east. Jersey, New York, D.C.
Maybe.
Let me ask you something. You got kids? Well, these are my African-American beautiful babies. If somebody put a gun to your baby's head, would you try and kill them if you could? Huh? Me too. And by selling that stuff, you're putting a gun to my baby's head. And let me warn you, I'm like a mad dog after a bone. I'd be all over you like stink on doo-doo. Trust me. Here. You read this. Gives me a lot of pleasure.
Prayer book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check this out, Reverend. God bless you.
God bless you, Reverend.
I just like when two actors go at it. It's like, Heat, De Niro, Pacino. You get that back and forth, and I mean, those guys embody this character. So Detective Taft and John Hull, they just embody their characters so well. And I think watching this movie, you can watch Lawrence Fishburne act as Russell Stevens acting as John Hull, which is like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, he's an actor playing a character who's also playing a character. And for him to be able to deliver that in a back and forth with Clarence Williams III, it's like, just blows my mind.
And what's funny is that we had Janelle Monáe come in there for an interview, and then we're having a conversation with her, and she was talking about the Onion,
Glass Onion.
Glass Onion,
Yeah,
sorry. And she was explaining that her role was so unique, and it was the same thing. It was, her playing her sister, like pretending to be her sister, and then pretending to be somebody else in front of everybody. It was really unique, and that's just the same thing.
It's like, I don't understand. I could never be an actor. Like,
yeah, to do that, to be able to,
it's like a chameleon.
Yeah, props to Larry.
Yeah,
props to Larry on that one. Taft, good old Reverend. Do you think he plays the same kind of character like in every single film that he's in?
I don't know if you guys ever seen 52 Pickup.
I have not seen 52 Pickup.
Oh my God. So you watch 52 Pickup and he is a fucking monster. He's scary.
Really?
And to watch him be in that and then to watch him be in this, and I want to say he's like in Boys Tales from the Hood or something like that. He's just he's just a great actor, and he's was in the Mod Squad.
Original Mod Squad.
Mod Squad back in the day.
Fro.
Yeah, man.
Yes, Fro. I mean, he just brings it, dude. Like, I just love the way he delivers like everything he's ever done that I've ever seen him in anyway.
So the birthday scene.
We're doing that now.
Yes, we're doing it now. Like, like what the hell were they thinking? This is just me though. I hated Gopher.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what.
Did you really?
I don't know what movie he was in. He definitely wasn't in this movie. Like, Chris, I want to hear your perspective on this, because you were saying like, "Oh, I loved him."
I mean, we all have that friend. You know what I'm saying? That friend that is. He's a fucking weirdo. He's a lunatic. He's crazy, but you still bring him around everywhere. He's the tag along kind of.
He was an annoying tag along, bro.
But it's like I looked at it and I was like,
what was he doing though? Like that's the whole thing. Like, he had no real role
I
in the
think
movie.
he's just that guy. Like him and Felix were probably homies. you know, and he's like, we're gonna just chill. Like I'm gonna be this hardcore, you know, drug kingpin, and you're just gonna be my dude. You're just gonna hang around. You know, you're not gonna do anything.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Okay, so
I thought he was like I thought he should have been in like Miami Vice or something like that. Like,
yeah, it makes sense.
You know,
Makes sense.
just the character that he was, you know, bringing to the table there. Just to me, just like, you know, Lobo says here, like to me, he made no sense in the film. Like
I just thought
we didn't really need him when you think about it.
You don't. So I guess we can probably hit that when we get to one of the later categories. He could have been cut out. I just think it's kind of cool to bring that levity to the movie. You know, he's kind of weird. He's quirky.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, we gotta cut somebody, Chris, we're gonna cut Gopher, we're gonna cut Eddie. Oh, and fucking Eddie stand. You know, Eddie's not going anywhere.
Eddie's not going anywhere. So I would say, yeah, if we want to tap into that, like,
so we're going into the what were you thinking? That's the Gopher.
That's the Gopher.
So this is our category: is what were you thinking? So we're gonna ask the director, anybody, any question we want. So your question is asking Bill Duke, what were you thinking?
Yeah, what were you
casting
thinking?
Gopher?
Yeah, why the hell was he in there? What were you thinking?
Oh shit! What about you?
Mine was a little bit different.
Okay.
It comes from the costume designer.
Okay.
What were they thinking with the Asian robes during the sex scene? Like, you take your clothes off and then you're going to put robes on to have sex?
I was going to bring
That's
that
fucking
up.
crazy. I've
What
never
was the
had
point
that
of that
before.
whole thing?
John and Betty?
Yes.
Yes.
Dude, I
What
didn't
was
even
the
fucking
point of
catch
that? She takes her clothes off. You see
Yep.
her little boobies and stuff. Not little, sorry. She takes her clothes off and we see her tetas.
Dude.
And then all of a sudden they're in the sex scene and she has a robe on. I'm like, so is this a kinky thing? Like,
Yeah.
what was the
And
point
he
of
had
that?
a robe on too.
Yeah,
They
what
both
was
had
the point
robes
of
on.
that?
I
Yeah.
didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
Really?
What lighting?
That's
did they
because
use?
we, you know,
Was it blue lighting?
It might have been blue or purple. Something
I
like
think it
that.
was purple.
it was purple,
That's
right?
funny.
And then later they go back and it's a scene of them waking up and they're in robes again. Like they're waking up from sleeping and they're back in robes.
Maybe the rope thing back then, you know, silk robes, you know, on your body,
It's the 90s,
on another
bro.
body, you know, yeah.
It's the 90s.
I do have one other thing with this costume designer as well. So going back to the original pool scene, like when they come in and Barbosa, you know, beats Eddie up or whatever it is with the pool stick. You look at Larry's jacket, his track jacket. They brought it right out of the fucking bag. Like they can't iron it down a little bit. This 4K now, I guess you're seeing every crease
Wow, you guys are
of the
fucking
fold.
great.
Hey, well,
Damn, I didn't
and I
see
want
that.
and I want to add on to that as far as the wardrobe. So the scene with Ivy in the restroom, that tank top.
Yeah.
Wow. And then to make it
I'm
even
sorry,
worse,
dude.
hold on. To make it worse, the way Hole walks in, like,
But he's
I thought he was
scared,
gonna.
bro.
No, the
whose
way
tank
he's
top?
the way he.
Larry Fishburne's tank top?
Yes.
Yeah, that
the way,
motherfucker's like all the
it
way
is
down his
way
belly
down.
button.
Yeah, you know, and then the way he strolls in, like, are you gonna kill him or are you gonna like rape him? Because
Yeah.
just the way he walked in and just how he was flowing.
He's
in.
got this little flamboyant stroll like Larry Fishburne. You know, he's an actor. But yeah, I feel you on that tank top. I looked at it, I'm like, God damn, I would never wear that shit, even if I got a fucking six pack.
Yeah, and this other thing, I don't know if this pertains to this category here, but for me, just these zooms, these quick little zooms
Yeah,
going
the
in,
weird cuts, the jump cuts.
I really hated those jump cuts. I mean, if it would work
And
on certain certain parts, but it was like on this montage, the street montage
yeah,
thing
it's
here,
just like a jump cut in.
jump cut on every single thing, dude.
Bro,
yeah.
maybe it was a sign of the times. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I don't really have anything to add to that. I did see in the that AFI interview, Bill Duke and Larry Fishburne put a lot of hate on Carlito's Way because they said it was a ripoff of Deep Cover.
I was gonna tap into that too, where
And I
like,
wanted to know. I don't really see it. Do you guys see that?
I think what it was, is not so much the cop aspect of it, was the story where somebody was being pulled into something.
Okay, I gotcha.
And
okay, I guess that makes sense.
You know, and then getting caught up into it when you don't really want to walk that line.
Trying to get out.
Right. So I could see the similarities in that, but what makes it different, obviously, is this is an undercover cop and then losing his way.
Yeah.
You know, and with Carlito was somebody who was in that and came back out, and then
he's trying to redeem himself.
And then the other thing is too, the lawyer aspect.
And then Jeff, same thing. Because remember,
oh yeah, so he's a good guy,
and then getting caught up into it and
I
just
feel you.
losing. And then it did remind me of that. I know that this came out prior before, but I did see the lawyer Sean Penn, and I was like, oh, like right when he started getting that
Crazy.
money hungry and crazy.
Okay, all right.
So I think that's what it was.
All right, gotcha. Okay, thank you for explaining that to me.
Yeah, I try.
So all right, so out of this whole movie, what would bring this movie to the next level?
I think for me, like camera movement.
Okay, better DP.
Yeah, I want to say better DP because obviously he did a great job into it. You know,
There's a lot of just standard.
It's
setups.
a lot of just like static shots.
Yeah, and I watched like when John comes into his arraignment. It's like he's sitting at the, at the defendant side, and here comes walking Jeff Goldblum, and the camera's like, it's like slow pan.
Yeah.
And then pan back, and then that's it.
Yeah. I would love to see more movement in this, and I think
Maybe
it would have brought more. Yeah, it would have brought some more character to the film.
Yeah,
and that's for me. I think that would have probably made a big difference in it.
Yeah, and from hearing the interviews, I would just go with give them more time, because they said they shot this movie in 40 days,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
If I could, like, the one thing that I think that would take it to the next level would be to give them a little bit more time
on the character development.
Yeah,
that's what I have written down, is a little bit more time about that. With that character development, this internal conflict that they have on the good and evil. Like they went from kind of straight-laced guys right to gangsters, like automatically without any character development.
That's one of the things that hit me too. I was like, it's like the next day, like his boss is like, you're a drug dealer.
You're a drug dealer.
I kind of had this in the notes of like, you could have started there. What if they were kind of starting to the point where he was already in the process of working in the streets, right? And
so open there,
right? And then montage to his growth and experience and the respect of what he's getting in the streets, but also maybe go into some back and forth to building his character, going back to like how he even ended up there, like with the interview. So instead of starting with the interview,
you saying that you're a product of a new generation of filmmaking.
True.
So like, now it's not weird to start at the end and go back into the beginning,
but then tapping into the whole idea, like the character build. Like all of a sudden you're just a drug dealer. I think I would have liked to see him more like really learn the
rise
streets,
to power.
And then that will be a great point to tell the main character, which we don't really see a lot. It was L.A. Because when I watch this, I don't see L.A. Like,
it's like I wrote this down in my notes. It's like a shadow world.
It is. It doesn't, and I think it would have helped out because, like how we said earlier before, at that time, like crack just ended. Like the streets were really loud. Like there was a lot of popping off, especially from the 90s all the way to like 96 or something like 98. The streets were crazy. Gangs were really on the rise. We were on TV. It was a whole different thing.
He doesn't really deal too many drugs in the movie.
No, he doesn't.
It's like you're a kingpin. But we gripe on that, and making it a little bit longer film might help it. We think.
Yeah.
They do the same thing in Scarface, because remember he kills Robert Loggia's character. I can't remember his name, and then the next scene he's like, he's the kingpin after that, and we kind of let it pass because we gave him a pass because it's Pacino and De Palma.
But the original Scarface.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not talking about like
black and white.
I'm talking about like Al Capone.
Oh, okay.
That era, like when you pop the big guy, you are the big guy.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give it to you. Yeah.
And that Scarface was kind of like that, homage to the Al Capone and like,
So we give it a little bit more background in drug dealing.
Yeah.
We show him as the drug dealer first, and then we'll kind of intercut like, oh, he's actually a cop later on.
Right.
Does it just become Donnie Brasco? That's what they did in Donnie Brasco. It's like he's there. You don't know he's undercover until he goes to see his wife for that first time. And you're like, oh, shit. He's a fucking fed.
Yeah.
But but like
I
I
would
said,
say, yeah.
we're products of a new generation of
very true
of film.
But I agree. I think sorry, man. You just can't just jump in the streets and all of a sudden you're just like boom, like you're the man. So they could have did a little more developing on that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Act 2.
Act 2. Moving on to Act 2. All right.
I think so. Or you got more?
Well, we kind of tapped into Act 2 already.
So Act 2 is what? Act 2 is the cutting room floor,
which we already kind of like tapped into, right? And then you could have started there.
So we got cutting room floor. So Gabe wants to cut Gopher.
I actually no.
Okay, who do you want to cut? Tell
Eddie.
me. Oh my God!
Wait, why would you want to cut Eddie?
I know that he's the lead in, and him going away. It's not the character. It's Roger Smith and how he played the character.
Oh my God!
That is.
We got to rethink. We have to rethink Gabe's position on
no,
this
because
podcast
he's so smooth in like he got game, right? Just being that guy, being an easygoing guy. I feel like he overacted, and when he's up against Larry, who's acting cool, calm, and collected, and he's like way out of control. I don't even believe him as a drug user. I just believe him as he's fucking overacting in the movie.
Dude, and he's ad-libbing the whole time.
It needs to be somebody else, but I don't know who it is at this point, but that was my feeling. I
took that one personally. Holy shit.
I'm just saying. That's the perspective you wanted.
Yeah, dude, totally.
But do you think he was going into this part like it was told like, hey, you know what, you're a fuck up. You're kind of losing it. You're already like screwing up and everything. And I mean, he gets caught, and then he becomes a rat.
Bill Duke trusted everybody that they all understood the assignment. Wow. Okay, so that's Gabe's. What about you?
Yeah, man.
Wackoe.
What were we on?
Cutting room floor. Who are you going to get rid of?
I already said it.
Gopher?
Yeah. Gopher.
Okay.
Put this into that.
I say get rid of Betty.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think she really needed to be there.
Nah, she didn't.
Like, it's not like she's not the moral compass. She's just the love interest, plain and simple. Like, she's just there. I think who's a more important character in this movie is James, the little kid. I think you could have put whatever energy you had on Betty, and you could have diverted it to James.
Yeah.
And really made James like a more important part because
so he should have got some more screen time.
I think so. It could have been a reflection of the way John was when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a good anchor to where he wants to be, and an innocent. He's an innocent person. I didn't think Betty needed to be there. But
no. But you know what though? Like,
she's kind of a throwaway character to me.
Yeah, she is. I don't think so. I agree. The little boy, yeah, like here's my thing though, like I'm sorry, like your mom's a fuck up, right?
Right.
And she's coming over and saying, this
buy my kid.
Yeah. And then how are you gonna if you cared about this kid so damn much, why are you going to give him some money and let him go in the middle of the night or whatever and go across the street and just fucking buy what do you send him to go buy?
Crossing that street, James. Yeah,
like what?
Wild, dude.
What the hell?
Send him to the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
You send him in, you're a cop.
Yeah.
And you're just going to let a little boy go by himself across the street.
And like he keeps him at the end. So it's like I think they could have they could have put a stronger emphasis. If you're not gonna, again, if we go back to the last category, make the movie longer, more character development. Okay, let's develop Betty more. But I think, John and David are almost the same character going through the same thing at the same time. So it's like I felt like they added Betty because David has a wife. But again, she's another character that's kind of throwaway. Like she's not really there. He has a daughter. He has a wife. Like you really don't know why he's doing what he's doing. Like why he's a fucking lawyer. Why you want to be a drug dealer?
Exactly.
Power, greed,
and that's good because you do see how weak he is when he's around these guys.
Yeah, he wants. I think he's searching for that respect.
Yes, definitely.
You know what I mean? And
Definitely.
he knows he's in a scenario, in a position where like I can help you guys out when you're in a situation. Like,
Right.
He has
loves
that. He has that power in a sense.
Like when he walks into the courtroom, like he's the fucking lawyer,
and he sits down and he's just like, I'm your lawyer.
and then you put him with fucking Felix, and he's a fucking pussy.
Yes.
He takes all the power away from him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I also have like Hernandez as a dirty cop, like, you know, needing a little bit more of that because he falls off at the end of the movie. Like he's not even there at the end of the
I
movie.
didn't catch that. Wow, yeah. So that's in one of my later categories.
Yeah.
Is one of the suspension of disbelief. It's like, what the fuck? Like, he's a little unexplained.
He is, because it's just like
plot device.
Yeah, he's just like in and he's out.
Yeah.
You know, he's like that relief pitcher for he just pops
shows up,
in,
does it, and
hit one batter and you're gone. Yeah. So, and I know you hate sports, but sorry, I had to.
Yeah. So that's the one thing in this podcast we're gonna have a ton of sports references. We're gonna put in as many sports references as we possibly can.
Oh, what an ass! What an ass!
I know you're gonna love it, Chris.
Yeah, I won't understand a single one of them, but we're gonna put in as many sports references as we can.
As long as you shake your head, yes.
I'll be like, oh yeah. Sounds
Oh
pretty good.
man,
Yeah.
I mean, Chris, you know that's great. You just let it ride. And on that note, like, let it ride. What scene do you guys think that would have been like, you know, a little bit longer, giving that little extension, you know,
Your interrogation scene.
the interrogation scene?
Like I said, those two guys going at it are pretty good.
I dig it.
Like I put Gopher's birthday.
No,
not just because it's fucking.
Okay,
Gopher's
I know.
birthday,
Gopher just annoys me, but yeah,
again,
I feel you.
Felix and you know
That whole that because that there was
you're like it's heating up.
Oh, we're going here now, guys.
Yeah,
and
that's
finally,
and that's that turning point for David.
Yep,
he's just like
this is it.
When he's with the wife, in the next scene, you're like, oh, they fucked up. When he decides he's gonna kill.
Yep. Well, and I think at that point too, where he said that, like, yep, it's either him or Felix. That was it. Like, there is no choice. There's no going back. Like, this was gonna, and I think it was gonna happen regardless because like Felix didn't really like his ass.
Oh no, he's like
he was gonna kill him regardless. Like he's just.
And I think that's why the Felix is a good casting because he's fucking cold blooded. Like he didn't give a shit about anybody. He didn't even give a shit about Hull. Like, you know, he didn't matter. Like it's just he's all about one thing, and that's like being a bad guy.
Yeah,
you know.
I would have liked to have seen a little bit more transition from Barbosa to John. You know, how is it that his crew, Barbosa's crew, is all of a sudden John's crew? Right?
Yeah.
Like they go into court at the end and, you know, Gopher's like with him, you know, all of a sudden, like where did that happen?
And how are these guys like the most powerful drug people in LA? And there's only 3 of them.
Yes.
There's the one guy that doesn't talk. There's Gopher. There's John or David, the lawyer, and then fucking Felix. Where's all the henchmen? And then Deaf Jeff, the fucking bartender. Like that's it. Like there's nobody else. It's like there's more people on the street when he's a street level dealer than there is when he's a actual drug dealer, like kingpin. Like there ain't nobody around. Like, he's moving all this product, but I don't know to who. There's a lot of good montages of him like filling the bags of coke.
Right.
How did he learn to do that? Like, I mean, how are you a cop and then all of a sudden you learn how to cut coke? Like, I mean, it's automatic or something, and he's weighing it out. And
yeah, that's all I'm saying. And then it's like the same people on the block. Like
Maybe
you just selling to the same 6 people on that little alley.
Cut. Maybe we do need an extended cut.
Act 3.
Yep.
Devil's Advocate.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
all right.
This is a good one. Yeah.
So,
you can save only one.
Save only one.
All right, so what are we doing? They're recasting the entire film except for one person. Who's it going to be?
You know, I'm going Fishburne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah. What do I got? I got I put Fish. Like
you got to put Larry.
It's like because you could put Nicolas Cage in Goldblum's shoes.
Everybody, to be honest, as regardless of what you know what they brought to the film, like everyone's replaceable.
Yeah.
Straight
Except
up,
for Fish. Yeah.
Except for Fish. Like I just think what he has done with that character, like
it's in his eyes.
It's totally in his eyes, dude. Totally in his eyes. Yeah. So cool.
It's that voice in the voiceover.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's got that leading man film in the film quality.
Right.
You know, it's like, and his ease in the film, like he's just, his whole demeanor in the film. I love it. I love it. That's the guy.
But if they said, okay, guys, we're making this movie, you have to replace Larry Fishburne. Who are you going to pick? I already got mine.
Who? Go.
It's Denzel.
So you're going with another black actor.
Well, because I mean, so like, let's say the studio's like, oh, it has to be a black film. You got to pick a black actor. Okay, I'll go with Denzel because I don't give a shit. Anything Denzel does, you believe it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if he's a fucking trash man, an astronaut, a crooked cop. You believe everything Denzel is selling you. You know.
I would say, yeah, Denzel's a great pick. I mean, he fits. Like, I think Lawrence and Denzel have a similarity in how they
quality.
Yeah, and what they are. So Denzel's actually good. That's a good one.
That's a tough one to beat.
Yeah, it is a tough one to beat.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to tap into something because we're actually watching this here.
Sure.
That shot annoyed the crap out of me when they were in the lawyer's office and they're having a conversation and it's just a pan of all these damn books. Like, yeah, I get it. He's a lawyer. All this, and then even the audio, like how it's supposed to be behind a wall.
It's not muffled or anything.
It's not like that was such a waste right there.
So do you think, knowing from your background, do you think like he arrived and they're like, okay, how do we make this creative? Do you think that's what happened?
Probably.
Okay.
I think so. Like, but then again, you said this was done like in what, 40 days?
40 days?
Yeah.
I don't know what the prep was. I'm assuming that's 40 days of shooting.
That's something to look into though, for sure.
Yeah. So that would be a question to ask Bill Duke when we run into him from the first section. Like,
yeah. What were you thinking about that shot?
or how much prep time did you really have?
Right.
before you
Like,
started rolling camera.
Like you could have just had him just walk into the damn room.
Yeah.
Was there really a need like to really have the whole thing?
Maybe they wanted to show like the wet floor, like or something.
Yeah.
Like because they got that wide shot that they're looking out the window, and then it kind of just spins around.
That's another thing, though. If you really pay attention to this film, a lot of the floor was like wet, so that way they can reflect the lighting, you know, in the certain scenes and stuff. So
what about the crooked angles?
Oh, kind of like half Dutch shots.
Yeah, it's kind of like this here too. It's like
usually those when they have like the Dutch shots, supposed to create an unease to it, but yeah,
I think it's like
it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Moving along.
All right, guys.
I got nothing. I got nothing on this one.
Anybody got anything? I have something, but
on Quantum Leap.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
I think what I have put here.
So to let everybody know, Quantum Leap. So category is you're beaming into one person. Who is it, and what are you doing differently to change its outcome? You got something?
Yeah. Let's see. I had put down here. Okay, so if I were to jump in there and I would do something different, I want to be whole.
Okay.
I would take out David, since Felix already knows that he really is no value, and then convince Felix to partner with me in the synthetic concept that I would stole from David when I killed him, and then I'll kill Felix.
You know, that is a good idea because like he's even telling his boss Carver, he's like, "Don't we want to go after Felix? Like, why did he sit there and become
right?" And then that's where David fucked up because David already showed his card to Hall, and you should never do that.
Yeah.
He should have kept that to himself.
Yeah,
and that's where he fucked up. Because actually, in reality, someone who's smart enough would have been like, "All right, cool.
We don't need you anymore.
We don't need you anymore." Exactly, and that's the name of the game. When the drug deal is just like when you own something.
Look at Wackoe bringing the realism to the
just
bringing the knowledge.
Right, but that's what I feel. Who gets the Oscar?
I think we're pretty unanimous
right
now.
Larry.
Yeah, it's going to Fish. I mean Goldblum. It's definitely. I would love to see an Oscar where it's like Larry Fishburne and Jeff Goldblum are going head to head for winning it for this movie. But yeah, I think it goes to definitely goes to Larry Fishburne.
I mean it's a no-brainer. No-brainer. Suspension of belief. Disbelief, sorry.
So this is the experimental drug. Like what the fuck? Like that's more of like a plot device. It's just there.
Yeah, a story on
It's just to like force John and David closer together.
Correct.
Okay, suspension of disbelief. Hernandez being Taft's partner, like,
yeah,
Taft seems like he's pretty on it. He didn't know that his fucking partner was like a bad dude.
Bro.
He didn't know that like
Yeah.
he's working for both sides. Like, come on, man. He's got something.
I've
else?
got people killed on the street in broad daylight with no investigation at all whatsoever that's happening. I mean, it's like it's crazy.
Homegirl gets shot in
Yeah.
the dome just like that, and he just bounces out.
Dude
like-
from Full Force rolls up on you, and
Right.
caps you, and he just rolls away. You know?
and where's Taft at? This
Yeah.
guy's been
No.
He's watching everything. Where
He's
is
just
this guy?
sitting there.
Yeah.
He's just sitting
parked
there
across the
watching
street.
this. Like, you're not, Mr. Reverend. You're not going to sit there and
Right.
intervene and just like, it
Parked
doesn't
right
make no
across the
sense.
street.
Yeah.
What else?
Wow, he's a bad cop.
Oh, dude, the stakeout goes bad. They kill the criminal informant Felix.
Mm-hmm.
We know who he was meeting. We don't know where John Hull and Betty are staying. Like, they're just gonna let him go. We don't know that was a fucking lawyer at the stakeout. So we're not gonna go to David's house and arrest him and take his wife and kids, into custody. Like, that was another one. I'm like, come on, cops in LA, like.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
like not investigating a murder. Like, they just let all these guys run free.
I mean, I guess from this whole film, I mean, the DEA is not even that smart either. It's like, hey, you're a drug dealer now. Yeah.
Well, it's a one-man show at the DEA, California section of the DEA. It's a one-man show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, well, that being said, like, where do we go from here?
Oh shit. Yeah. Where do we go from here? Okay, they're making a sequel. Hypothetically, what would it be about? Who would be in it? Who writes it? Who directs it? Who's got something?
You got to get John Singleton to write it and direct it on the second side of it. I don't know. Story plot. I've got Larry, drug pin leader, but torn from his old life and not wanting to do that anymore. The adopted son wanting to take it to the next level. That's what I kind of see, kind of
good.
coming up.
Yeah. I'm kind of along the same lines as that because it's just like,
Well, we're doing a real-time sequel. So it's
like just straight
30 years later.
30 years later, because I want to know what happens to that little boy.
Yeah, because the kid's
Me too.
6, 7 years old. So
Right.
he's like 38 now.
And I'm thinking he just went full force. Obviously, he's now just going to be the kingpin.
John did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Hull's just like he ain't gonna be a cop. Where that bubble was popped.
Yeah.
It's just like shit. You guys are just as worse than anything else.
Yeah.
So I'd rather go here and just get rich, die trying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What I got is John is in prison after this movie. James ends up becoming a cop, and in order to get his dad out of prison, he says, "I will go undercover and take all these guys down if you guys let my dad out."
Nice.
That's what I got. Real time. I don't know.
I like that one. That one's good.
I didn't pick a writer director, but I was like, that's you kind of want to see what happened to this kid.
And not to tap into one of our categories of could anyone have done it better?
Oof,
if we could just jump into that, because he brought up something, and I actually picked John Singleton to do for that. That I think he would have made the streets a character in the film.
Yeah.
I feel it was missing that. The city is the heartbeat of the game when you think about it,
Yeah.
So, and I think he would have helped establish the characters more too. Look what he did with like Boys in the Hood.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think he brings that element of when he writes, he pulls at your heartstrings, even for the bad guy. Like, you feel for Doughboy in Boys in the Hood.
Yes.
You feel for Remy in Higher Learning. Like, it's just, they're the bad character. It's the gangster. It's the shooter. But
So
there's
would
something
we-
that tears you there.
We'd be making James the bad guy then, pretty much.
Yeah.
In the sequel.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, like, if they were to do it, they'd have to do it the right way. But Bill Duke still directs, so I wonder if he'd be involved,
Yeah.
He still works.
Yeah. No. Yeah. He still works, or maybe he could be the cop. Bill Duke.
All right. Next category.
So then we're the Tyler
Durden
on this right here. If one character in the film was imaginary, like, who would it be?
I put David.
Oh,
I thought David would be interesting if he's not really there. They made David the fictional character because they're so like mirror images of each other. But I think you would have to have gone in and had David would have had to have been the bad guy already. Like he's already a piece of shit. He's already, he's like already evil, like super evil. Like to kind of show John where he's going. Like it's a warning. Like you don't want to get there.
Yeah.
But that's what I got.
I like that. How about you, Lobo?
Anybody?
Yeah.
Anything?
No, that's good.
I actually like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what if the DEA Carver wasn't even like real?
That's pretty good too.
You know what I mean? And all that was just part of his what he was creating. That was just that motivation to just be like, to go that route.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So that's what I had put right there. Could anyone have done it better? Did anyone want to add to that? I already said my piece.
Anytime you do a crime drama, the first guy I'm looking for is I'm looking to see what Michael Mann is doing. So it's like you get a movie like this and you put Michael Mann in it, it's like, oh shit, automatically it becomes Heat.
That's true.
Like metaphorically and the film, you know what I'm saying? It's like it would be hot and it would be like it would make, and of course then how you said, let's make the city a character.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in Heat, the city is a character.
It is a character,
and
definitely.
Like if, you watch, if you've seen Thief, Chicago is a character.
Yes.
And he's very good at doing something. And oh my God, Collateral, like LA is a character. So I think he's the only guy that could do it. You could Spike Lee, he might be able to pull it off. Clockers is amazing.
What about you, Lobo? Anything?
No, not on that one.
All right.
You can cut me on that.
All right. So, well, guys,
high school.
We're in high school, and it's time to put that quote down. Under your little picture.
Yeah.
For me, I think the quote I put was, "There are only rich people and poor people."
That's pretty good. That is a good one. I was fucking looking for some other good ones.
Yeah.
I've got "You're a drug dealer, deal drugs."
I like that one. Yeah.
That's pretty good too.
That was nice.
I got two. I want my cake and eat it too.
Okay.
And
I like it.
And the other one is, you deal in vice, you pay the price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good.
Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Nice.
All right. Right. Is there a better title?
I couldn't think of one.
I couldn't think of any. I mean, come on. Deep cover. I don't think there's anything better than that, really.
It's pretty to the point, but I don't think you could go any other way.
Yeah.
Synthetic drug.
Synthetic drug. Nah, yeah, deep cover. I mean, it's just. I mean, that's just the premise of the movie, and it's just to the point.
I mean, it pulls you in. That title pulls you right in.
Yeah. Right. I mean, some final thoughts here, guys, on this whole thing. Any unanswered questions? Like, any other little thoughts you want to kind of add into it before we?
Yeah. What the fuck happened to the synthetic drug?
Yeah.
And it's literally on the screen right now.
Like that was my biggest question. Like, what the fuck happened? Like, what was?
But then
the point of that?
Well, then that's where we tap into the sequel, right?
Okay.
What happens after? Like, does he?
John tried to sell the synthetic drug and
then
learned it didn't work, and they sent his ass to fucking
right. So I mean, there it is, right there, man.
I'm going with still what happened to Hernandez, the crooked cop.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where's he at the end?
Where the fuck happened to that?
Yeah, at the end when Taft gets killed.
Yeah.
Like, how is that's his partner, and he's not there with them. He's trying to make a buzz.
Yeah, that's true. Like, he should have showed up.
Mm-hmm. He should have been there.
Oh, the other biggest question: where's Gopher?
Where's Gopher? I wrote. Where's Gopher?
I give a shit about Gopher, man. Hopefully he dug himself back up in the little hole that he came from. But that's just my thoughts on that guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was it. That's what I
had. Do you want to tap into R.I.P., Chris?
Yeah, I mean, we got some deaths. Clarence Williams III died in 2021. Hernandez, he passed away in 2017. Gregory Sierra, who played Felix, he died in 2021 during COVID. So,
oh wow, that was recent.
I kind of saw.
Do we play like a
sad
song, like the Oscar montage?
No, we'll play.
And did we leave anybody out?
Because we don't want.
I think we did.
We don't want to get a backlash. It's like on the Oscar. Hey, what happened to so and so?
I'm pretty sure we left some people out. Now we'll play Sleepwalk right there. during this section.
All right, awesome. I mean, I think this is a pretty good one for our first podcast.
Yeah, we got a couple of things though.
What's that?
Is this a good movie?
I mean, I thought we answered that in the beginning.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was.
Yeah.
It is. It's a great movie.
What's your ranking out of 10?
I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I liked it. Just a little choppy, of course.
Yeah.
A little overacted in some parts.
Yeah.
But story is good. It just might be missing a little
Couple
something.
things.
Yeah, when you're talking about Juice or like up against like Training Day, which produced Oscar winners.
But I think maybe those movies.
But those came after though.
But I think like this movie was very broad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it tried to cover a lot of ground. But for what it did, I thought it did pretty good. But like those, like how you're mentioning Juice, Training Day, those are very self-contained stories.
Yeah.
Like it's like Training Day, course of 1 day, Juice, course of like 7 days.
Yeah.
This is like
a
fucking career and
True.
drug dealing and just, I think it's a lot to try to tackle.
And this film, and I had put some notes, this film was like one of the leading films that really kind of set the tone. Like so this era, because it sits there with like King of New York, New Jack City, Boys in the Hood. Like this really kind of like set the vehicle. All right, we're driving down this way.
Yeah.
In the 90s, guys. Here we go. And then just look what came right after all these. So yeah, it's a great film.
What's your ranking out of 10?
I gave it a 7.5.
Okay. I mean, if I look at it through 12-year-old's eyes, it was like a fucking 10 out of 10.
Well, yeah, of course.
Going back, I'm fucking 40. I still give it a 9, man. I fucking love this movie.
Wow.
I love this movie. Like,
and I respect that, though. I respect that.
This is that movie, like, it came out, as soon as it came out on DVD, like, I don't know, 2000, 1999, I fucking bought that shit.
Yeah.
And every year I'd look, it's not on Blu-ray. It's not on Blu-ray. It's not on Blu-ray. 2 years ago, Criterion announced Blu-ray.
Yeah, 2021?
21, yeah. I'm like, sweet Jesus, my fucking prayers have been answered. And I was so happy that they did this. I love this movie to death. There is, to me, I had noticed too, watching it yesterday again for like the 500th time, there's a heavy religious aspect to it. Like, Carver's asking him, Carver's like, hey, how was it popping Ivy? And he says something and he's like, I'm God, remember? And then when Taft meets John for the first time, he punches him in the stomach. He's like, how you doing, Judas?
Yeah.
And then at the end, he kills Taft. He shoots him in the chest. And at that moment, boom, he comes back. He becomes Russell Stevens, the cop. It's like Taft is Jesus. Jesus died for his sacrifices so he could be redeemed.
Oh, wow.
It really it blew me away. I'm like, fuck. Is this like a religious tale?
Holy shit.
It's like all about, I mean, of course it's a redemption story.
Right.
The course of the whole movie, he's losing his his morals the entire time. And then finally he's like, all right, fuck, I'm going to be a drug dealer. I'm doing drugs. I'm drinking alcohol. I took my first sip. But yeah, I was like, there's like this really religious overtone, like at the very end.
It's true. Wow.
So,
good call.
Look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, I'm growing up. I'm 40 now.
Wow.
So.
He's all grown up.
Yep.
He's all grown up.
Baby's all grows up. All right, cool.
Well,
right,
hey,
fellas.
man, that was fun. What do you guys think? You guys
thought
like
it was thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, good time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So hopefully, we'll get into some other movies in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we won't stop.
No, I'm not gonna. Won't stop. Don't stop. Yep.
Yep. You know what I mean?
I can feel it.
I can feel it.
All right.
I can feel it. All right. So the next time, everybody, hope you guys enjoy. And then, don't forget, follow us on social media and catch you guys on the next pod. I can feel it.